I had this question recently. I met someone and I just know they have such great potential. Let's just say it was a waiter at the restaurant. And I want to bring it up so bad to them. And I want to get get them involved in this. Okay. So first become their friend. So one of my first goals when I meet people is to become friends on Facebook. One, because that's where my content is, but two, that's where it's almost like its own CRM, right? And so that I can reach out and continue to, one, get to know them, but also interact with them.
Welcome to MLM Nation, a podcast of leaders, by leaders, for leaders, hosted by Simon Chan. He's built a team of over 200,000 and is now a full-time MLM coach and trainer. So if you're ready to level up your business, join us now. Let's do this.
MLM Nation, it's Simon Chan. I'm fired up to bring our special guest today with Bri Richardson. She is someone that I've been wanting to get on the show for years, and we finally have her. Hey, Bri, are you ready to make it happen?
I'm ready. You're right. It's been years that we've been trying to make this happen, so let's do it.
Bri Richardson had a degree in public relations and was selling American Express cards at the airport before she got started in network marketing 13 years ago. Today, she's a seven-figure earner and the number one income earner in her company with a team of over 55,000 distributors and customers. Bri is also a wife, a mother of two kids, and lives out in Dallas, Texas. So, Bri, welcome to MLM Nation. We finally have you here. Take us back. How did you go from graduating with a degree in PR to selling American Express cards to network marketing?
Yeah. So basically, I was a nomad back then. So we lived in Houston, went to New Orleans, and then found ourselves back here in DFW. And so the promotions world was kind of like the freedom world where I didn't have to be behind a desk. And so it was contract job to contract job, until the American Express job ran out of contract, didn't get renewed. And I was pregnant with our first son. So that's kind of what changed everything. And so at that point in my life, it was either, I kind of joke about it. I'm like, either spruce up the resume and hit the campaign trail trying to find another job or find an alternative. And so that's where network marketing came into my life.
So who introduced it to you and how were you exposed to network marketing?
Well, to be honest, when I was, 18 years old, I started in, one of the beauty businesses that I think of most of us have been exposed to, one of the old school ones. And so I had an idea about network marketing from that. It was from literally a lead gen box inside of a nail salon, right? So I had exposure from that. But the way that I got involved with this and really how it turned into a full-time career was through social media. So just random post of product that I found out there was an opportunity attached to it.
Was that a friend posted or was this a random stranger?
No, I think it was just somehow someone acquainted on Facebook, maybe a friend of a friend. I can't even remember how we initially met, but it wasn't anyone that I was, in direct contact with or talking to every day or anything like that.
So what was the post about and what got your attention to it?
Yeah, it was a makeup post, and it was a mascara that I was interested in giving a shot. So again, that was like 13 years ago. And so I inquired initially just about the product and then was told, there's a business opportunity attached to this and asked if I was willing to take a look. And I said, yeah.
Why were you so open-minded, especially since you had done network marketing when you were young?
Yeah. So even back then when I did it when I was, in college, I've always had this pull because I see other people being successful. And it dates back to really even before me being in college when you see the pink, we used to see the pink Cadillacs driving around, right? Like that was this symbol of success. And so through social media and through things like that, I knew that people were successful in the business. And so in my mind, it was, okay, if so-and-so can do it. If they can do it, then why can't I? It's just a matter of figuring it out. So that I always really had a pull to, be my own business owner. And to me, this was a way to do it without having to write the whole business plan myself.
A lot of times prospecting, also building is about timing. Looking back, how come it didn't work for you back when you were 18, when you started back in college?
Really, if we're just being kind of blunt, the reason why it didn't work for me when I was 18 was because I wasn't willing to put in the work, first of all. And then also I wasn't willing to learn about how to go about building, the network marketing space to be successful. It was like, if I put the products in front of people and no one bought anything, I was completely defeated and I gave up. So the shift for me the next time around was the willingness to put in the time, but also to learn more about the business structure of what network marketing really was or is.
So the second time you did it, how did your first 1 or 2 months go? Did you have instant success right away, or was it still a learning process? Struggle?
No, definitely still a learning process. And I tell people all the time that I failed forward. I messaged people the word vomit stuff. I did things too excited. I did things not enough. I spam people. I wasn't consistent. I mean, all the things that I feel like an entry level network marketer or business owner does. I messed up, but then, through education and books and things like what you provide, right? This podcast and educating me on how to actually be a business owner, not someone, I feel like we all start with that employee mindset. So I was looking for someone just to tell me what to go out and do, but really I had to go find that information and then go out and do it.
So what was one of your aha moments where maybe you found some info and then things started to take off for you?
For me, I really found that the evolution of network marketing as a whole. So back in the day when I was in, college doing this, if you weren't inside someone's home, you weren't making money. There was no social media marketing. There was no internet. We weren't selling online. And so that was a big shift. So learning how to go out and break barriers and boundaries where you don't just have to do business with the people in your backyard. Online, there's no limits. And so going out, creating relationships with people outside of the circle, because I think that's something that a lot of people, even today, will say, well, I don't have a network. Well, neither did I, but I was willing to go out and build a network. It's quite frankly right in the name of the industry, right? And so that was really my aha was I'm not stuck to my circle. I'm not stuck to the bounds of my, geographical location, but to really utilize social media and go out and start spread the word about what I have my hands on.
So if someone was getting started with social media right now because they ran out of the warm markets, what advice could you give them?
Collect friends. That's the biggest thing is go out, build relationships. One of the things that I teach and I love is so back when my first real momentum in network marketing started from Facebook groups. And so while that seems a little old school now and how we go about building in Facebook groups and networking in Facebook groups is a lot different than it was even 10 years ago. I still utilize those to build network, to go out and find like-minded people who like the same types of things that I like and start the relationship without the goal of, selling or sponsoring someone, just the goal of collecting new friends.
So if you're in a group, just say, what's a hobby that you have? What's something you like to do?
I'm a baseball mom.
Yep. I know I saw your son win the World Series, right, in Florida.
Yep.
So you're in the baseball group. How would you connect with another parent? What would you actually do?
Yeah. So, and I coach this, so I'll just kind of go along those lines, but just posting a picture of myself and my family. So for instance, if I were to join a new baseball group today, I would post our World Series win picture with me and my family and, just tell our story about how long we've been in baseball and things that we like to do and things that excite us within that genre, right? That niche. And so basically just introducing yourself. And then once you do that inside of groups, people welcome you or say, oh, we like that too. We were there at that same tournament, whatever it might be. And those people, then I will respond on the post, but really I take it to Messenger and just ask more questions. So that's also the key to building those relationships is asking questions about other people and really getting to know them.
So you ask questions, I guess, the simple step would be asking about baseball questions, right? How old is your son? Where do they play?
Yep.
And then how long do you wait before you ask them whether they'd be interested to look at what you have, your business?
Yeah. So it's not that I have an exact timeline on that. Honestly, it's more so my daily DMO. So I am a list worker. So if I'm messaging, and having business conversations with 10 people today, well, then I need to add 10 people to the bottom of that list. I'm very much an old school working 100s list. So when their name comes to the top, if the subject hasn't been brought up, then that's the time that I'm going to say, hey, listen, we've been chatting for 3 weeks. It could be 3 months. It just depends on how busy and how many other conversations I have going. But it could, again, the time frame doesn't really matter, but it's just a matter of saying, hey, I just realized I haven't even ever asked you what you do for a living. Share with me. And then it always opens up the door for me to then share with them as well. With, again, still going into this with the notion in mind that I'm not expecting an outcome. I want the opportunity to share it. If they are interested in becoming a customer or working alongside me, that's great. But if not, that doesn't mean the relationship is dead, because that's the piece that comes first.
That's one of the best answers that I've asked the question a lot, because a lot of people ask, how many messages do I send out before I invite them, right? Do I send them 1 or 2, or is there 5? And the reality is, like you said, there's no set answer, because everyone is different. Some people like to be quick and direct. Some people like to chat. And I think when you base it on your DMO, okay, I need to do the 5 reach outs, then that person may be it. Or maybe you've done your 5 reach outs, and you can chat more, right?
Yep.
It all depends on the situation.
Yep.
Let me ask you this question. Because I should have did this in the intro. We known of each other, but we met in person at Rob Sperry's Leaders to Leaders Mastermind there. What was your biggest takeaway from that event, or biggest inspiration?
Yeah. So that event, honestly, mostly it was about getting around people, like-minded people, in a way that you could truly mastermind, bounce ideas off one another. So the biggest takeaways that I had from that weren't even necessarily from the presentations that people were doing, but the downtime, which I loved. So that was actually my first event with him. And going into it, I'll just say I expected it just to be much more of like in a room, and we didn't get out of it much, and we all were just in there. But it was very much where it was like, okay, we had a couple meetings in the morning, and then we all went and did our own thing, right? Around the property. And the connections, and again, collecting friends on that caliber, but also just bouncing ideas off of people who are successful in their own right. That was the best thing ever. I love the lunch conversations. I love the poolside conversations. I love the dinner conversations. And getting to know more people and what was important to them in business. Because to be completely honest, sometimes when we go into prospecting or offering the opportunity, we talk about what's important to us. And so hearing other people's takes on business and what was important to them, like to build, I love that. And the connections that I built from that will last a lifetime. I mean, one of ours is kind of an example, right?
Yeah. I mean, time flies by so fast. I can't believe it's almost been a year.
I
Last
know.
October when it started. But I think one thing I learned was just to be around people inspires. Like, it wasn't necessarily anything I learned, but just hearing the conversations, talking. And then it was a fun place. I think when it's fun, you get more creative. It's definitely a very cool place.
100%, the creativity part of it. So having those conversations would it would get your wheels spinning, right? And sometimes when we're doing the same thing day in and day out, and we're not having those types of conversation with other leaders, may it be in the network marketing space or not, we kind of get stagnant in the wheel. The wheels kind of start to slow. But when you get around people like that and just have the conversations on a leadership level, on an ownership level, then your ideas start to turn, and you can take that back to your team and create a momentum that might not have been there before.
Yeah, definitely. So in your profession, in 13 years, what is your worst, this is my favorite question, your worst moment in network marketing, to the point that you wanted to quit, but you did not? And that's why you're the leader you are today, Bri.
That is actually a really good question. But the one that came to mind first, we'll say, because let's also just be real, that there's not just one, hurdle in business or in network marketing, that stuff happens, right? And I never expect it to ever stop. It is a part of the business. But the one that first comes to mind is when I started to see in my previous company the separation between the field and corporate. And so that was probably one of the worst things that happened to me. And instead of, at that time, I did look outside of the industry. I thought, you know what, I'll just collect the paycheck that I've built here and go do something else. And in that journey, what I found was there is not a place in the world or any other industry that I have found that where I can serve on a level that I can here with network marketing. So me actually looking outside of the industry brought me right back to the industry in a stronger way than ever, because it was a realization, like if you lead people in the right way, you can help create these stories and really you can help transform people's lives to live the life that they dream of, right? I couldn't find another industry or business that I would start that would have that impact on people's lives. So even though it was a start over at that point, it was the best decision I ever made, and 100% made me stronger in leadership by staying here in the industry and just helping people and serving people at a higher level.
How important is consistency to success?
It's everything. It's everything. I actually just posted recently in my team group, maybe it was last week, and said, the most successful leaders, the ones who I see making the biggest paychecks and rank advancing at the highest rate, are the ones who are showing up 100% consistently.
So being a busy mom like you and your wife, so many other things going on, you got travel baseball on the weekends. How do you stay consistent?
Planning. So I have my set hours that I am here in the office and working. I have my schedule on Calendly that I give to my team that they can sign up for whatever they need for. I schedule my one-on-ones when I'm talking to people about business. So everything is pretty much scheduled. So sticking to that is a big thing, but also the flexibility and freedom of literally being able to work from your phone is everything. So I can pick it up and put it down anytime I have any, little nooks and crannies in my day. So that helps as well. But the consistency level of, okay, these are the non-negotiables that we have to complete every day. Anything that I get to do, again, on my phone, picking up and putting it down in the meantime, that's just icing on. That's just driving. That's what do you call it? It's fuel to the fire. But having the non-negotiables every single day is key to it.
Hey, thank you so much. You've given so much wisdom in like 18 minutes. You're like rapid fire. You're the fastest talking Texan I've ever met. I love it. As we go towards the end of the show, some quick questions to pick your brain. Okay. So the first one is, what is one of your favorite success quotes that motivates you?
One of my favorite success quotes that motivates me. Oh, you're putting me on the spot here, Simon. Success loves speed. We can't do it slow. We'll get there eventually, but I ask people, you want to make money? Are you fast or slow? Let's go.
What's one habit that's helped you become successful?
Lists. Making lists so that it's laser focused action with intention.
What's the best piece of advice you ever received?
The best piece of advice that I have ever received. Okay. I really like the idea of when there are issues or things come up or hardships, when you come to someone, when you're talking about it, then to come with a solution. Don't just come with a problem.
That's a good one. What's your favorite prospecting tool? So say you have a qualified prospect. Do you do a one-on-one Zoom with them? Do you get on the phone with them? Do you do a video message, audio message, send a video, company video, personal video? What do you like to use?
Yeah. So I actually think there's two different levels of this. So for the brand new network marketer coming in, I teach them to utilize what we already have. So we do live overviews led by a leader Monday through Friday, right? So I teach them to plug into those as their tool. But personally, my favorite tool and the one that I know converts at the highest rate is getting them on a phone call or a Zoom personally.
What's your favorite app on your phone that's not a social media app?
Telegram.
What are 2 or 3 books you could recommend?
How to Win Friends and Influence People. I also love a super basic one, How to Build Network Marketing Leaders by Big Al. That one really, I feel like, especially for the entry-level, mid-level person, when you really get into the nooks and crannies of business, it opens your eyes to whether you're acting as a distributor or as a leader.
And the last question, the $1 million question. You ready?
I don't know. No, just kidding. Fire.
So imagine you had to start all over again and you knew no one. You didn't know your husband. You didn't know your kids. Your contact list was 0, but you had all your current knowledge, skills, and wisdom. What's the first thing you do to build a network marketing business from scratch?
Go make some friends, right?
And where
Network,
and how?
network. So, different ways. One, I love the idea of getting in person with people. So every city has a chamber of commerce. Go sign up for it. Go to the meetings. Most cities that I know of have networking groups. Go sign up and meet people. And so even when I'm out and about in this day and age, so if I meet someone new, a lot of people, I had this question recently. I met someone and I just know they have such great potential. Let's just say it was a waiter at the restaurant. And I want to bring it up so bad to them. And I want to get get them involved in this. Okay. So first become their friend. So one of my first goals when I meet people is to become friends on Facebook. One, because that's where my content is, but two, that's where it's almost like its own CRM, right? And so that I can reach out and continue to, one, get to know them, but also interact with them. So that's one piece of it, like of an in-person thing. But also I would go back to what helped me build in the very beginning, and that's Facebook groups, which we already talked about today.
You've been amazing. Any last words or advice as we wrap up? And then what's the best way listeners can connect with you, Bri?
Yeah. So my advice is is when you come into network marketing, if you truly, because everyone has this dream of creating that financial freedom that we all talk about, but understand that it's an education first type of thing, and it's trial by error type of thing. And so don't give up on it, and don't give up on yourself. Know that it's all skill based and mindset based, and both of those can be learned. Just do what it takes to sharpen it, and you'll never be perfect. The goal is not to be perfect; it's just to be better every single day. So focus on and be intentional with what you're doing today to be better, right? In everything that you do. So that is my advice. Even when it gets hard, dig in deeper, and again, pour more gasoline on that fire, pedal to the metal, learn more, do more. And the reality is I started this to earn $1,000 a month. I wanted to stay home with my kids, turn it into multi-million-dollar business, multiple 8 figures in a 13-year period. And the reality is I know that if I can do it, anyone on this podcast that is listening can absolutely do it. So don't give up on you. The way to contact me, you can honestly, Facebook is my jam, but I'm all over the place. I'm on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. And so you can also reach me at thebriRichardson@gmail.com if you want to shoot me an email.
MLM Nation, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And today you may hang out with Bri Richardson. So keep up the momentum. Head over to MLMNation.com, click on the podcast tab and the show notes and all the nuggets of wisdom, the books that Bri shared, and also her social media profiles there. Definitely go follow her and check out the good stuff that she has sharing every day. Hey, in order to be successful in life, in business, and in network marketing, you must help others. So Bri, thanks again for sharing your valuable time with MLM Nation. We're grateful to you, and we appreciate you for having a positive impact on millions of distributors worldwide. Thank you so much again, and God bless you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Hey, MLM Nation, Simon Chan with a quick recap from a great show from Bri Richardson. Make sure you head over to MLMNation.com and click on the podcast tab and follow Bri. She has great social media content on there. And that was one of the quickest, but concise and loaded with nuggets show I did. And I was joking, but not joking. She's definitely the fastest talking Texan I ever met. No offense to Texans. I love you all. But she's very concise, really to the point. And some of the big takeaways, I love it. I don't know if you caught that towards the end. The best advice was, if you're going to talk to someone, don't just bring up the problem, or bring up a possible solution. And that automatically starts training you to be solution oriented. And by doing that, also often you find solutions. So if you're going to ask anyone for help, your upline, or anyone for help, your leaders, instead of just complaining about your problem, think of possible solutions. Maybe you can have 3. Well, what you can do is, some of you may ask, well, then what's the point of asking a question if you have the solution? So sometimes you don't know what's the best thing to do, right? So say you're talking to a prospect and the prospect has ignored you, or then sometimes reply back and doesn't show up. So what are some solutions, right? The solution could be forget this person, move on. Another solution could be bad timing. You follow up on social media, or maybe you still want to be persistent. It's different couple of solutions here, right? And there's never one unique way to do it. It's because of the relationship depends on how it is. Or maybe you need the person's going to say no to you because they know you too well. You need the upline to talk. So I just give you 4 or 5 solutions there to that problem. And then you bring it up to your upline or your leader or your coach, and you ask them. But that automatic is a great exercise to be solution oriented instead of being just problem oriented, right? Just problem. In fact, this is such a good nugget. I will be teaching it to my coaching members, my consistency champions tonight on a tonight coaching class. I think if you just come up with 3 or 4 possible solutions, that will immediately often you get the solution or you see a lot of the possibilities of what you can do. So really good nugget there on the best advice that Bri received. Another thing is she talked about the relationship, right? It's built on, I don't know if you caught this again, built on social media. If you're struggling to get the results, because when they click on your profile, they don't feel that you're the person that they trust, or they don't know you, or that you can help them. And that's why they're not agreeing to it, right? So that's why she talks about when she connects with someone, she connects with someone just like a waiter. She gives the waiter example in a restaurant. She makes sure she connects to them on social media, because when it does, they know that waiter or that prospect was a stranger will see her content on social media and be impressed, right? It's the same thing like people in my community automatically trust me because they know I do a Facebook Live, Instagram Live 5 days a week, while most people are scared to speak in public, right? So the fact that you just show up every day and consistent, you must be pretty successful. That's a pretty good, now it doesn't mean people buy from me, they do everything, but immediately trust is there already. And that's why it's so important to posting on social media every day, being consistent with it. It is really the 20% that makes 80% a lot easier. The last nugget is talking about how often do you, when do you reply back? When do you invite actually the question was, when do you invite someone to look at your opportunity? And I love Bri's answers. The best answers, like, it depends, right? If some days and the thing is, you don't need to chit chat back and forth, but some days she needs to hit her DMO. By the way, she still does the DMO reach out. She may, I haven't reached out to this person, I'm going to invite. But some days, she is invited but she's still messaging because of the relationship. So it really depends on situation. And some people like be quick and direct. Some people can like chat all day, right? So the people are quick and direct. You could spend a little bit of time on the relationship. While people are just chatting all day, generally, I recommend that you go invite that person, because if they're chatting all day, generally they're never going to be ready to look at the business, because they keep chatting, talking. Sometimes you got to be a little bit more quick and direct with those type of people. So again, it's a situation case by case. There's never like one size fits all. I know we all want that, but there's never like one size fits all. So great show again, by Bri Richardson. Make sure head over to mlnation.com and go and follow her. And also, hey, we take a lot of time to do record these episodes. Please subscribe and leave a review on us, on whether it's the Apple Podcast, on Spotify or Podbean, wherever you're listening to. Please subscribe and review and share this with your teams. And because especially lately, I've been doubling down and really putting a lot more effort into the podcast. I think a lot of you can tell the production quality, and this is really my big vision to make it bigger. Because when you look at, just search for MLM, or search for network marketing on any podcast player, there's a lot of negative stuff comes up, right? Anti-MLM shows. That's not our profession. We're way better than that. So I really want to, because there's some bad apples, but most of this profession is, there may be 1 out of 20 bad apples, but most people in the profession are really good people. I really want to lift up the profession. And when people search MLM or network marketing, they don't see the negative stuff. They see the good stuff that we do, that you do, right? So please subscribe and leave us a review. Hey, that's what I have for you. I'm Simon Chan. I'm loud and proud to be this amazing profession. And thanks again to Bri Richardson. That's what I have. Hey, go out there, apply what you learned, and have a positive impact on someone's life. God bless. See you on the next episode.